Everybody hear me? You hear me? I'm battle scarred, war torn, mentally drained. I continue to fight a fight that makes both world wars candy land. See, I remember the day I raised my right hand. They say freedom isn't free, but I'm wondering the cost of bondage. They say all men were created equal, but my ancestors missing two fifths on the back of a milk carton for almost 80 years. I wonder what is the answer to the riddle. If a tree falls in the forest and no one is around to hear it, doesn't make a sound. Truth is, black people can be deaf toned and hit a whole forest crash. You could cut them all down. We've hung from enough of them. And no, I don't apologize for my tone. This is literally the soul of 10,000 dead black warriors speaking through the life-size version of the noose that grip their throats and silence their voice. And now the rope has come off, but invisible chains have been strategically placed. Imagine police running in your place, killing you and being charged for the shots that they missed. Imagine a knee on the turf receiving a standing ovation, but a knee on the neck receiving a standing ovation, but a knee on the turf gets you a pink slip. Imagine not wanting to slip up in the reach for your wallet to present to the officer a valid license, because a license to kill may be implemented simply for reaching for something that was shiny and black. And I'm wondering, what was the black threat? My wallet or my skin tone? Just be honest with me. What offends you more? Is it this melanin or the fact that I survived the multiple attempts when you tried to firebomb my existence? My peaceful protest was met with resistance, but you cried like hell when your target burned. So don't moment that Trump people. So now spending the same fire that burned down your corporate loves, but the only difference is you ain't putting this fire out. I want all the smoke. I walk through hell and make the devil jealous in his own dwelling. And I'm not interested in the points you try selling, because we just want soul from farm A to C while being told we can never be human in between those selling points. So don't you dare fix your lips to ask me to pull my blackness on sale when it has been discounted for $3.99 for the first 200 years of this country's existence. Yo, time out. Time in. I just wanted to take a quick break since we haven't had one since we were brought over here on boats, stripped of our culture and our names, because I know damn well no Africans had the last name McLean, but you said, hey, welcome home, and home is where the heart is, but we were Tulsa. So you tell me, how can home exist when you're triple bypassed our humanity, our sanity, now hanging on by mere threads while you control the needle, so change it to a system that was never built for us, and these things we allowed you to serve, but don't get it twisted. We may share the same patches, but we will never share the same struggle. To be black is to live in the bubble. So the NBA is not the only one concerned about a virus, even though we're more concerned about a vaccine. Because to kill the hatred against us, this whole damn world will have to quarantine.
When can I get the poem?
Hmm?
I want the poem.
That was beautiful. Wow.
Appreciate you.
I'm going to go ahead and get started on Miss Opal Lee's interview.
Good day. My name is Christopher Jones, and I am the Senior Diversity and Inclusion Officer here at the University of Redlands. It's my pleasure today to be with Ms. Opal Lee, the social impact leader for making Juneteenth a national holiday. We have an interview today with several questions that I hope will leave the audience with some knowledge about Juneteenth, and more importantly, what we should know specifically going forward about her efforts. Well, Ms. Lee, first, can you just tell us a little bit about your life and help us understand who you are and how your life's journey has shaped you into who you are today?
Well, I keep telling people that I'm just a little old lady in tennis shoes, getting in everybody else's business. I am actually from Marshall, Texas. And my mother brought us to Fort Worth in 1937. In Fort Worth, in Marshall, actually, Juneteenth was held at the fairground. Oh, we'd go there and you'd think it was another Christmas. There were games and food, sack races and bowls and all kinds of things to keep you busy all day long. When we got to Fort Worth, not so much. People celebrated, I'm sure. I just didn't know where they were celebrating. And when I became a part of the Tarrant County Black Historical and Genealogical Society, there were Juneteenth, and the one I remember at Sycamore Park, tiny little park in Fort Worth, where we had 30,000 people in a 3-day period, 10,000 people a day. From the Historical Society, we took exhibits. I'm not so sure how many people noticed the exhibits because they were having so much fun. And what you need to know is that we still have what's called watch night services at our churches, where on New Year's Eve, people gather waiting and watching for freedom. And that's what Juneteenth is, freedom for so many. Because General Gordon Granger came to Galveston with 7,000 Black troops. And he read a proclamation, he read it. It was General Order Number 3 that said all slaves were free. Now, I don't know how many slaves he had at that time to hear him, but he nailed that general order to the door of Reedy Chapel African Methodist Church. And when the enslaved came in from work and from the fields, and somebody read that to them, they started celebrating, and we've been celebrating ever since. Celebrations take different ways of celebrating. The festival is a draw. Ever there's art and music, and there is empowering you. And we've got a Miss Juneteenth movie and the pageant. There's so many things attached to Juneteenth that means freedom for everyone. In fact, I advocate celebrating from the 19th of June to the 4th of July because we weren't free on the 4th of July.
So let me ask you a little bit about what you just said in terms of Juneteenth being freedom, or Juneteenth meaning freedom. For those who may be listening to this and may not know about Juneteenth or have heard of Juneteenth before, can you tell us and explain to us just a little bit more about why Juneteenth is significant?
Well, the Emancipation Proclamation that freed slaves, that was ordered by President Abraham Lincoln, people down in the South and Texas didn't get that word for 2.5 years after the emancipation. You see, the plantation owners brought their slaves to Texas knowing that after the Civil War, they'd come back and get them. But it didn't happen like that. And I don't know how to begin to tell people that people in Africa were stolen from their homeland, from their parents, from their sisters and brothers, and brought to this land. I don't know how to say that many of them didn't make it. It was a lot of water to cross. disease. Oh, it was awful. And when they got here and they were sold like animals on an auction block, and the South had need of them because cotton was king and they needed everybody they could get to get those crops out. Mind you, it's believed that the plantation owners knew that the enslaved were free and didn't tell them because they wanted them to get the crops out. Does that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. So let me take you a little bit further, though, in terms of something you said first answer about celebrating from June 19th, the day we recognize as Juneteenth, all the way to the 4th of July, which this country recognizes as Independence Day. But as you said, we weren't all free at that time. So in your experience, tell me a little bit about how you see it, where we miss things, say, in school or our educational system, about Juneteenth and the importance of that day in relation to the 4th of July.
Well, our textbooks right now, and I moan when I see one of them or read one of them, simply are not telling the truth. And it needs to be corrected. You see pictures of people picking cotton, you get the impression that they're glad to pick cotton, but they weren't. That was some broiling sun that they had to work on. We've simply got to make it known that whatever happened, it has to be told even to the youngest. I wrote a book called Juneteenth, a Children's Story. Can you see that?
Yes, I can.
Okay. And there have been other books written that tell the story. It's not, oh, so dramatic. It simply tells the truth. Dr. Charles Taylor, the book I wrote for the younger ones. Dr. Charles Taylor did Juneteenth, a celebration of freedom. And it has where the teachers would have it as a teaching tool. It should be in every library, every school district should have it. We need to get the truth out. Lots of people have never even heard of Juneteenth. And we've got a really big job to do to get it over to them. Wouldn't you think?
I would. And so let's start that a little bit with this next question. Because you talked about the ways in which your experience in Texas and celebrations of Juneteenth, but explain to us a little bit about how we should be celebrating Juneteenth, the cultural significance or the cultural things that are important to celebrating Juneteenth.
Well, what we've done here in Fort Worth, beside the Miss Juneteenth Scholarship pageant, we've gone to the public schools, and the young people have been given 12 freedoms that the enslaved acquired. They could name themselves, their children they could keep, they could buy property, they could be a part of the legislature. There were 12 freedoms that they gained. Just, not that 12 was all, but the children were given 12 freedoms and asked to do their art around those 12 freedoms. 800 children participated, and I think 300 of them were jury. They had those children's works all over Tarrant County College. Art is a way that the youngsters can get to know the meaning of Juneteenth. The music We have youngsters from all spectrums. The children learn songs from different cultures. They work a whole week and then they put on a concert. And you learn about the different music. We've got, well, I say we have, there's a young man who's written a play about Juneteenth, and it's been part of our activities. We have food that's given away to the families. We have the wagons where the mobile units where people can get um, tested for whatever health problems they might have. It's just not a festival. It's more than that. And I don't know that I've explained it well, but I want you to know that Juneteenth is more than just a festival.
That's important, more than just a festival. And I could hear in your answer about the significant events of changing and looking at the community, is what I hear you to be saying. So let me ask you this part. In the in the last year, there's been a lot of focus in our country, in the media, what has been called a racial reckoning. And do you see any connections between where we are as a country with racism and the importance of recognizing and celebrating Juneteenth in the way that we talk about America?
Yes, I do see. You know, the pandemic has affected us all, and we keep saying, well, hope we'll get back to normal, but it's going to be a new normal. I think that the young people with the Black Lives Matter are making an impact. I know Juneteenth is, people are beginning to realize, hey, this really happened. And if we can just get people to understand that we can get more done working together. There's so many disparities that need to be addressed. Homelessness, joblessness, health, the climate, our schools need to tell the truth. There's so much that we can do. And so we are trying to get people aware that Juneteenth is the beginning. This is the beginning of having freedom. If we actually will get together and address these disparities.
So you talk about getting together and addressing the disparities and also getting people to understand. So you tell us specifically why you think it's necessary for the United States to recognize Juneteenth as a national holiday.
Well, we are people who love to celebrate, you know? We've got holidays coming out of our ears. And I feel like if Juneteenth is on the calendar, a lot more people will be aware of what happened. They will be aware of what can be done about it. They'll be aware that we're not free yet. I firmly believe that none of us are free until we're all free. And we've got a long way to go before we're all free.
None of us are free until we're all free. That is an important statement. And at this point, I just want to ask you: is there anything else that you would like this audience to know about your movement, what you are doing, your program that I may not have asked you in the previous questions?
Well, I want you to know that we've had fabulous parades. And last year we could only do a caravan. I thought we'd maybe do 20, 25 cars following me while I walked the 2.5 miles to symbolize that the enslaved didn't know they were free for 2.5 years after the emancipation. There were 300 cars that followed. Can you believe it? 300 cars followed that me walking 2.5 miles. The more people who are aware, now you know Juneteenth, the 4th of July, just automatic. We need Juneteenth to be that automatic too. We need people to be aware that they can do things on the 19th of June to help somebody else. They don't just have to have a festival. There's lots that can be done. And our nation and our people need to be aware that they can help each other. And something I advocate is that each one teach one. I know that there are people who are not of the same persuasion as I am, but I think it's my responsibility to change their mind. I wished I had the time to tell you of the story of a young man who simply threw his father's luggage on the sidewalk and put him out of the car and drove off and left him at Union Gospel Mission here in Fort Worth. And there was a Black man there who had gotten into so much trouble, but he befriended this white man. And when he was sick, or even before he was sick, he would always see that he had food. And the man sent for him when he was on his dying bed and told him what a good friend he had been. Didn't know anybody else who had been his friend. And this man is dying. And he said to him, good friend as you've been to me, you're still a nigger. I'm saying that these kinds of things need to be changed. I'm trying to say that people have different ways of expressing what they feel. And I'm hoping that each one of us will find somebody that we can change their mind about the enslaved, about what's happening with us now, about the Jim Crow tactics, about how we're changing laws so people can't get to vote. We need to be responsible for doing this if we make ourselves a committee of one. Now, let me tell you this. We've got a petition that needs to be signed. You go to Opal's Walk to DC.com and you find yourself a link and you go to the petition and you give me your signature, because we took 1,500,000 signatures to Congress in September, and we plan to do that again before Juneteenth this year. And we need everybody's signature we can get. All they got to do is go to Opal's Walk to DC.com. Now, here's another thing. We're going to have that caravan again. Oh, in my town, it's at 10 o'clock. And if you have your caravan the same time that I have mine, and it's all over these United States, now that, my friend, will be freedom.
So that's Opal's Walk to DC.com. That's the link for where you want people to go for the petition. And the caravan is going to be at, you said 10 o'clock.
In my town, so sometimes in California, it might be 8 o'clock. Someplace else, it might be earlier than that, or later than that. but I sure hope that they will participate. I mean, that would be ooh, off the chain, as the young people say. Huh? I did mention to you that there's a group I belong to called the National Juneteenth Observance Foundation, and it was started by Dr. Ronald Myers. Now, Dr. Myers was a big fella. He was a Baptist minister, he was a medical doctor, he was a jazz musician, all rolled into one. And he's responsible for most of the 47 states that have Juneteenth observances. So, and then again, down in Galveston, Texas, they've got this huge mural that they've done. And I'm going to be able to go down there and be part of the ceremony when they unveil that. I'm looking forward to it. There's so much going on about Juneteenth, and I'm just delighted that people are taking notice.
Well, we are delighted to have had you here for this conversation today. It has been my honor to speak with you today, Ms. Lee, and we thank you for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for that wonderful interview, Ms. Opal Lee. I will turn you over to the capable hands of Dr. Shindell Seal, who will continue with our next portion of this. But I think we're going to have an announcement. Ms. Opal Lee, would you do the honors?
I certainly will. I want all of you young people, and you know you are young people if you're not 94. The Senate has, the bill in the Senate has passed for Juneteenth to be a national holiday. And I'm ready to do a whole dance. And the House isn't far behind. I've heard from Representative Sheila Jackson Lee, and they're going to be doing things on the floor today at 1:30. I'm a happy camper.
This is phenomenal news. This is your life's work, Miss Lee. Uh-oh, somebody doing a holy dance. Wait. Okay, should we just all do like the holy dance together? Okay. Woo. Come on, Miss Lee. Let's see it. All right. Woo. Get down.
Oh, oh,
This is the Juneteenth holy dance.
yes.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, Miss Lee, this timing is so divine. It's so divine that we're having this conversation right now. I'm honored, honestly, to have the opportunity to speak with you. And in your interview that we just watched, you shed a lot of light on Juneteenth and really what it means to you and what it means to Americans as a whole, what it should mean to Americans on a whole. And we got this excellent news about yesterday about the House and well, the Senate and hopefully everything passing through right now for Juneteenth. This has been absolutely your life's work. I want to give you an opportunity right now to react to this news. Just tell us right now, what is your emotion?
I'm so elated. I'm so humbled by what is happening. And heaven knows if the House passes that bill, I'll be in Washington so quick to see the president sign it. I'll be over his left shoulder. Do you hear me? When he signs that bill into law. I'm ecstatic. I really am. You all don't want to see me show out on your show.
Show out, girl. Show out.
I just
We
want
need you to show
that this old lady is happy as she's ever been. that we're going to get that bill passed and that we are going to have freedom for everyone, not just Black folk, not just white folk, but freedom for everyone. And that's what's needed. Then we can get busy dispelling some of these awful things that are happening to us. We'll get up to work on every one of them, one at a time. We're going to dispel them. Homelessness, joblessness. Schools need to be teaching the truth. Health care. And my climate change, justice, all these things to be addressed. So we're going to do it just soon as our bill is passed.
That's fantastic. Now you're using the word freedom a lot, and I know that freedom for some people means different things for other people. So I want to just contextualize this a bit. Now, in 4th of July, 1776, America gets their freedom from England, right? That's the 4th of July. That's what we celebrate. That's the official holiday and whatnot. And they received this freedom and they celebrated, right, this establishment of America. But we know Blacks couldn't participate at that particular point in time because they were not free. They were not free. They were not sovereign. The enslaved were not, they were shackled, right? So the significance of the 4th of July was lost on all of the slaves. So you said that we're still not free yet. Tell us about the significance of this same word, this freedom, for the enslaved and for Blacks now with respect to Juneteenth. What does that mean? What does freedom mean to you with respect to Juneteenth?
I see freedom. I see freedom from want. I see freedom from homelessness and joblessness. I see freedom from all of the disparities that we know exist in our country. And I'm not just talking about Black people. We are Christian people. And we are our brother's keeper. And we are talking about all people being free, because none of us are free until we're all free. Health care, it doesn't decide to just attack Black people. It attacks whites as well, and Asians and all that. If we work together, we can get so much more done. Freedom to me means freedom for all people. I want to be called an American. I don't want to be called a hyphenated American. I want to be an American. And that's what freedom is to me.
So we heard you say that they need to tell the truth. Schools need to tell the truth. We learned about the Emancipation Proclamation happening in 1863, and most Americans had never heard of Juneteenth. Most Black people never heard of Juneteenth. That 2.5 years later, this is when Black people were actually free. Now, it certainly is not in the textbooks. I don't know about anybody else, but I never saw it in the textbook. And you said that these schools need to tell the truth. So why do you think it has been kept out of the history books, Ms. Lee? Why have we not been telling the truth?
Fear. Fear.
Go ahead.
When we are in the majority, and your census and things will tell you that in such and such a year, there'll be more Black and brown people than there are white people. So there's a fear that the things that were done to the enslaved that we'll be trying to do that same thing to people now. And that's so ridiculous. We are Christian people. And we know that each person is our brother or sister. We simply need to acknowledge what happened. We need to acknowledge it, get past it, and begin to eradicate the things that are devastating all of us. Yeah, excuse me.
No, that's all right. You choking on excitement. I got it.
But none of us, I keep saying it, none of us are free till we're all free. People who can't get health care are not just Black people, poor white people, Asians, Mexicans. We've got to eradicate what causes that.
Mhm.
You gotta excuse me, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
It's up a cold.
No, that's all right. That's all right. Um, I I have one more question, and then I'm
Okay.
gonna pass the baton to Miss Stennis. You were talking about how Juneteenth was celebrated, and when all of us heard you talk about that, there was such a sense of nostalgia. There was such joy. I mean, I felt like I was there. I felt like I was there. And I want you to tell me, just tell me, forget everybody else. Tell me about your favorite Juneteenth celebration. I want you to just, I know you're 94, I know you're 94, and I know it's been going on for all your life, but think back to that favorite Juneteenth celebration. Just tell me, don't tell nobody else.
Okay. I had a good celebration when I was a youngster in Marshall. Excuse me. I hope you can edit this out.
No, we good. It's like,
Okay. Marshall, we went to the fairground. We had such a good time. We had food, music, food, games, ball games, and food. Let me get through with this.
mhm. Now, you don't have to continue if you want to take some time
I want
to
to
cough
continue.
out all that excitement.
No. I want to
Oh,
continue.
okay.
You just need to know that with all the excitement and with a cold I caught, I'm over the top. But the first Juneteenth I remember in Marshall was almost like Christmas. Uh, oh. And then in Fort Worth, when we had Juneteenth, where we've got so many components to it, besides the walk the 2.5 miles, and you know that's to symbolize that the enslaved weren't free for 2.5 years. And that caravan, oh, I hate this. This year is going to be, what do you all call it? Virtual or whatever, where in Atlanta it's going to be the same time Philadelphia, New York, LA. We'll be doing it simultaneously. And and so many other components. I just wish I wish you could have seen, heard the breakfast of prayer. It was wonderful. We had a singer who brought the house down. She did only 2 numbers. Reverend Henry Masters, we worked together 50 years ago, did the occasion. And the pastor of the church, oh,
Guys, I think we're going to need to.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Give me a break, just a second.
No, no, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I think that what it is that Miss Lee is sharing is why all of us have taken up this banner. Why it's so important for each of us to continue what it is that she's been doing for her entire life. I'm gonna pass it on to Monique right now. I am so inspired by, first of all, her work, but her strength in persisting, even though she's hacking up a storm. May we all have that kind of strength and determination and persistence, right? May we all have it.
Why don't we just take a little celebration break?
Somebody put some music on or something, because this is like Juneteenth, like right here or something.
oh, I
This
want
is
to
amazing.
know.
We can't hear it.
Okay.
We about to dance. We're about to do a dance, a Juneteenth dance. Miss Lee, sorry. Ah.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, celebration time. You gotta put the
The
mic
volume
to
up.
yeah, put the volume up so we can.
She's back now. She wants to talk.
Oh, can you hear me?
Year, a celebration will last throughout the years. So bring your good times and your laughter too. Come celebrate your party with you. Come
Everybody.
Celebration.
Let's all
Come on, y'all,
celebrate.
y'all know how to sing. Come on, y'all like the children's choir. Come on now.
We all celebrate and have a good time. It's time to come together. It's up to you. What's your pleasure?
Everyone around the world.
Come on. Woo! All right, we gonna have to work on these
So
singing and dance
beautiful.
moves.
I know, we don't know when to stop.
I know. Miss Lee, would you like to finish out and sing anything and just getting us on our way, right?
Yeah. Okay. I just want you people to know that Juneteenth is impactful, that we need to make ourselves a committee of one, because you know somebody that's not on the same page you are on, and you need to change their mind. If people can be taught hate, they can be taught love. And it's up to us to change their minds. I don't expect it to happen overnight, but we have to use the tools we have. We don't have guns. And you can make a difference. Don't let anybody tell you you can't. I guess what I want to do is to ask you to join us on Saturday when we have that caravan, and I walked that 2.5 miles. Wherever you are, you can join us. Go to that Opal's Walk to DC.com and find the link that tells you where you can give us your signature, where you can be taking part in the caravan. There's so many links, but do, young people, and you know I know you young people, do participate in what we're doing. And I'm going to do some praying that we get this bill passed. And Juneteenth is a national holiday. And I thank you for putting up with me.
It was our pleasure. It was our pleasure, Miss Lee. Thank you so much for giving us your time, giving us your inspiration, and giving us a call to action, charging us. Get on that walk, get on that link. Thank you so much. And thank you all for joining us. Please fill out the survey. Takia, do you have anything else, or Monique, do you have anything else that you'd like to share?
I just want to say thank you. It does feel as if it is a divine intervention that we are at the point of the Senate actually making this holiday a federal holiday right in the middle of Juneteenth. And we're literally facilitating this event throughout this time frame. It's unbelievable. We couldn't have planned it. We could not have planned this. It is divine. We have Ms. Opal Lee here. I feel so blessed and so thankful that you've been here with us. We've been in contact with you for months. You are an inspiring, beautiful human being. And I just want to thank you for being a part of this. And me and Miss Monique and a few of us are looking forward to seeing your garden and getting you to sign our books. And her books are available at the Opal's Walk to DC.com. You guys go to support Miss Lee's children's book that she has written. It's amazing. We're all looking forward to getting our book. There it is. She has it up. And it's a beautiful book. I have 3 grandchildren. I will be buying 3 of them. And I'm excited that you've done this. This is going to be forever in our history and our family. And I will be celebrating every single year from the 19th until July 4th.
Absolutely, Miss Opal. Thank you. Thank you. And what I would love to do, Miss Opal, is that you did a whole lot of talking. And I know you've been talking a great deal for years and years and getting this done. We have about 9 minutes left with you. And so I just want to invite anyone who would like to pour into Miss Opal and talk about your experience in this call. Mute yourself and express yourself. Don't be shy.
I'll start off. I've been just overcome with joy this entire week, day 2, and you inspire me. I didn't know much about Juneteenth growing up. My daughter is actually born on June 19th. My daughter down there, she's a Juneteenth baby. And I didn't know really the significance until I moved to Texas. I was living in Houston, and that's when I learned about it. When I came back to California, it kind of fell off again. And then the last couple of years, with the, especially last year after George Floyd and all that, then there was a resurgence. And I just want to thank you personally for the work you're doing and making us understand why it's so important. And you're a jewel, you're a national treasure. So I'm just praying for your strength and your health. And just want to say I love you. And I want to come see your garden too.
Kamala, it's a farm. It's 13.
It's a whole farm.
It's a farm. It's not a garden.
It's a farm.
It's a farm. And we started it because we started a food bank that is servicing 500 people a day, and the people standing in line, we asked them if they wanted to farm, and 66 of them said they did. And we chose to work with people who've been incarcerated and couldn't find a job, and then they get paid to farm, and then they learn farming. Now you got to know it's more to farming than dropping some seeds. And when they get through, they get certified by a college in our area or a university, and they can go out and teach people how to raise food in their backyard or on their vacant lot. Because with the virus, we're going to end up having to know how to grow our own food.
Is there nothing you can't do or don't do? I love your servant heart. Man, thank you, Miss Opal Lee. I really thank you. Beautiful.
Miss Opal, my name is Joy Clark. I'm the president of the BSFSAA, and I want to thank you so much for joining us on our first inaugural Juneteenth celebration. This will not be our last one. And I want to thank you for serving our community and bringing awareness of Juneteenth to the University of Redlands and abroad here in California, because Juneteenth is not celebrated like it should be, but we are going to do our part to make sure that it is. We had to do it virtually this year, but next year our hope is to do a big celebration out on the quad where we can all come together family reunion style and really celebrate Juneteenth like it should be, bring in the Buffalo Soldiers and work with the Juneteenth committee and everything else. So that is our hope for next year. And we just pray that, you know, you'll be able to join us next year. And I'm coming with Tiki and Monique to your garden, to your farm rather. My uncle, my father's best friend who passed on, he was from Marshall, Texas. So I have lots of good stories, and I have a great pound cake recipe from my Uncle Bob, who passed away a few years back.
What was his last name?
Strange. His name was Robert Strange.
I knew a family, but Robert would have been one of the children. I bet I knew his father and mother.
Yes, I've heard many stories, and actually he was the first person I ever learned anything about Juneteenth from. So thank you.
And thank you. Thank you so much. I love every one of you young'uns. I want you to know that. You've got so much energy, and you've got so much you can pass on to others. So do it. Don't let anything turn you around, because people will try to stop you. Don't let nothing turn you around, please.
I love it. I love it. And not to put anyone on the spot, but to put them on the spot. We have students, we have alumni here. Please pour into Miss Opal Lee. Please do. Unmute yourself and say what's on your mind.
Hi, Miss Opal Lee. My name is Alyssa. I'm actually
She's muted.
You're muted, Alyssa.
All right, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Again.
Sweet. I double clicked the mute button. My apologies. But hi, Miss Opal. I'm the Juneteenth baby. I was born on Juneteenth. So it's my birthday. But yeah, I'm just excited it's an honor. I just have immense gratitude to be in your presence right now, and I'm sure we're all like immensely grateful. And I remember you saying this year, you said Juneteenth will be a federal holiday in my lifetime. And here we are in your presence. And look at that. Today, the Senate passed. Next thing you know, it's going to go to the House. Then it's on Biden's desk. It will be a federal holiday in your lifetime, ma'am. So
yes.
This is so divine. And I just thank you for just being here in our presence.
I'm thankful for you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me, Miss Lee?
I didn't
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, this is Makisha, and I'm just so honored to be in your presence today. You're such an inspiration. I think, again, I said it in the chat, I'm from Cal State Long Beach, and University of Redlands Black faculty and staff has done an amazing job with these Juneteenth activities. and how they secured you here, I'm going to have to find out their secret. This is one of the best activities that I have come to, and I'm just so appreciative for you and all that you've done for our community. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you.
And I'm originally from California, born and raised, but my parents are from Selma, Alabama. So we have a strong civil rights activism within my family. And we just look forward to continuing what you all have started for us. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you.
We're almost towards the end. 3 minutes left. Please keep it moving. Keep it going. Pour in love.
I'll say something. I just want to acknowledge, I love as a woman of God, how you said we are a Christian people and how we are to love everyone and how no one is free unless all of us are free. And that is just wisdom that everyone needs to hear. And I want to thank you for bringing that truth to today's session, because it is true. It's the foundation is love. It's the love that Christ, died on the cross for, and he died on the cross for all of us to be free. So I just want to thank you for your life of faith. And it's truly a testimony, and it's going to ring very loud for generations to come. So thank you so much.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you.
It may be too late for me to say too much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. My name is Elaine Wilson. I'm not where I can put the camera on right now, but I just want you to know, Miss Lee, and all of the young ladies, I'm 73 years old. Okay, I'm an activist out here in the Inland Empire, and I found out about this program just last night. The only discouraging thing is that this whole screen isn't filled, but I will do my part as what I do in the Inland Empire to get this information out. Miss Lee, I'm a native New Orleans. I grew up doing nothing but work. And at 73, and just like you at 94, it's a shame that none of this was taught in history, but it is our job. And you said a committee of one. This is why I love seeing all these young people on here. We're doing this together until the day we die. When God wakes us up every morning, we have purpose. Let's keep moving, let's keep working, and let's do it together. Miss Lee, you are a blessing, and you are inspiring me to just keep going today. Thank you.
And I thank you. I thank all of you young people. And if you have another one of these, let me know.
All right, we have time for just one more, and then we'll have to let Miss Opal Lee go. Anyone else?
Jennifer, go ahead, Jen.
In the chat, someone was asking how they get the quilt that's behind you, Miss Opal Lee.
Oh, sweetheart, those are T-shirts from all the Juneteenths that I could muster. And I had a cousin in Kingfisher, Oklahoma, who quilted that for us. I don't know how to give you a replica of it, but if it can be done, hey, I'll do it.
It sounds like it's one of a kind, just like you. So we will just continue to admire it.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
And with that said, thank you, Miss Opal Lee. It's been an honor, a pleasure. Thank you, everyone. We had as many as 46 people that was on this call. I am elated. So thank you so very much. And please